Today is Monday the 13th of February and this is from the South. Ecuador's elections are just days away and President Rafael Correa has been preparing to leave his position after 10 years in office. A government committee has begun working on the transition process to prepare for Ecuador's new administration. Correa enters his last 100 days in office and will leave his position on May 24th. The transition committee will make preparations for the first months of the new government. Ecuadorians will head to the polls on February 19th. Peru's former president Alejandro Toledo, who has an international arrest warrant for allegedly receiving $20 million in bribes, plans to move from the United States to Israel. But on Sunday, Israeli authorities said that they will not allow the Toledo to enter. Peru's government is asking U.S. President Donald Trump to extradite the fugitive politician who is a U.S. resident. Thousands of Venezuelan students marched through Caracas celebrating the nation's Youth Day on Sunday. Participants also showed support to President Nicolas Maduro, who attended and addressed the crowds. Yesterday in Mexico, tens of thousands took to the streets in protests against U.S. President Donald Trump, condemning his plans to deport millions of migrants. Some 20 cities took part in a nationwide protest against the Trump administration and his anti-Mexican rhetoric. 3 weeks into his term, Trump has vowed to move ahead with construction of his signature border wall. In Espírito Santo, Brazil, more than 1,200 police broke an 8-day strike on Sunday. This came after there was a dramatic increase in homicides during the stoppage. According to the police union, 144 murders have taken place since the strike started on February 4th. Despite the crack in the strike, roughly 10,000 police still adhere to the stoppage, which is due to a pay dispute. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu left for talks with U.S. President Donald Trump earlier today. According to senior cabinet member, Netanyahu no longer supports Palestinian statehood and will express this position in Washington. Palestinians seek a state in the occupied West Bank and the Gaza Strip, with East Jerusalem as its capital. A blast killed at least 13 people near the Punjab Provincial Assembly in Lahore, Pakistan. At least 83 people have been reported wounded. The attack targeted a protest against the Punjab government's amendments to a drug sale law, which was organized by Pakistan chemists and pharmaceuticals manufacturers. Romania's parliament has unanimously endorsed a presidential plan to hold a national referendum over anti-corruption reforms. This after mass street protests forced the government into an embarrassing U-turn over a graft decree. The president blasted the government over the decree that would have effectively shielded dozens of public officials from prosecution. Gaza's ruling Hamas movement has chosen Yahya al-Sinwar as its new chief in the Palestinian enclave following an internal election. Al-Sinwar was freed in a 2011 prisoner swap with Israel after more than 20 years in jail. Al-Sinwar will be a key decision maker for Hamas and a member of the executive leadership that draws up policies including towards Israel. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari asked Parliament last week to extend his medical leave, deepening suspicions among citizens that his health is worse than officials are admitting publicly. Anger is mounting over his continued absence as the country tries to recover from a spluttering economy. Buhari also spent nearly 2 weeks in London last June for treatment for an ear infection, stoking concerns for his health. Just days before Brazil's 2017 Rio Carnival is set to begin, the city's Samba schools hit the runway for their last practice exercises at the famed Sambadrome. Carnival is a platform for Rio de Janeiro's Afro-Brazilian communities to protect their often marginalized culture on the world stage. The famous carnival features fancy costumes, glitter, loud dancing music, and impressive chariots. The Rio Carnival is set to kick off on February 24th and end on March 4th. More on these and other stories on our website telesurtv.net/English.